Today on TWnewsmaker, we're speaking to Dominic. He comes from an airline background but has just taken the top job in the UK at Royal Caribbean. He's only been there 8 weeks, but already he's got some pretty strong views.
Hi,
hello Dominic, very nice to see you. So Dominic, you've been at Royal Caribbean for just 8 weeks. What are your first impressions of the cruise sector?
Well, yeah, 8 weeks at Royal Caribbean. I've been on 4 cruises in those 8 weeks. It's an amazing product. The level of service that we give is incredible. It's an amazing value for money proposition. The growth potentials of the industry are huge. I think overall it's an incredibly exciting industry to be involved with.
Well, that all sounds fantastic, but what are the challenges that you face?
I think the main challenge the cruise industry has got is to change the perception of cruising amongst people who aren't currently cruise advocates. Once we get people onto the ships, they love it. It's getting the people onto the ships in the first place. And I think the industry has got a challenge to change the perception of cruising.
There's obviously so much capacity always coming online in the cruise industry. So what are you going to do to make sure you can fill those ships?
Well, let's remember that Royal Caribbean has been incredibly successful up till now at growing very fast. So we've succeeded in attracting new customers to cruise. So we'll continue to do what we have already been doing, which is to get our brand awareness up and to spread the message of how good cruising is. And that's by a combination of advertising and working with our trade partners for them to convince customers who currently are new to cruise about what a great proposition cruising is.
You mentioned travel agents and getting more of them engaged in selling cruise. But why should they when they find it so hard to compete with the high volume discounting travel agents?
It is very frustrating for us that we have what we think is a fantastic product and it continues to get discounted in the marketplace. So I think we have a product that isn't a commodity, but it's sold like a commodity. And what we need to do is make sure that our partners understand that, and actually there isn't a need to discount this product. The commission levels are healthy in the cruise industry. Agents can make extremely good money from selling cruise, and many of them do. If agents choose to discount, then of course their profit will be less, but we don't think the product needs to be discounted.
You say agents don't need to sell on price, but they're in a hugely competitive market, so how do they avoid that?
I think there'll always be people and agents out there who will compete on price. I think at the end of the day, that's not the way to generate the best profits. We have a number of our agents who sell our product who don't sell it on the cheapest price. They sell it actually because they're giving a very good service to the customer who is booking through them. And I think because of that, they then generate better profits. So I think again, it's very important that agents remember it doesn't always have to be on price. You can differentiate on service as well.
Low Cost Travel Group recently bought Ideal Cruising. What's your view of that?
There are a lot of different cruise agents out there selling to different customers within different segments of the cruise market. Generally, when you get that in an industry, so lots of different players, you eventually get to consolidation. And I think we are going to see more consolidation happening in the cruise selling industry.
So this consolidation you talk about, is that good or bad for you as a cruise line?
At the end of the day, we need people to sell us who understand our products, who understand the way that we work, and who can sell our products and services really well to customers. If that is fewer agents or more agents doing it, it almost doesn't matter. The most important thing is we work with agents who really understand our business.
You talked about needing good agents to sell your product, but are you suggesting then that there are some that require perhaps a bit more training?
Going back to one of the questions you asked earlier about the discounting, with agents kind of absolutely competing just on price, I think that shows that there may be, they could potentially sell our product slightly better. So if your question is, do I think that some agents could sell our product better by not discounting so much? Yes, I think they could.
You say it's not necessary for travel agents to discount cruise, but isn't the onus on you then to teach them how not to drop their prices?
Lucy, that's a great idea and we shall give you credit for coming up with that.
Well, that's very kind of you, Dominic, but does that mean that you are categorically going to introduce a training model on Cruising Power that teaches agents how not to discount?
I don't know whether we'd actually put a module in about discounting and how to sell it for price, but it is genuinely a very good idea about making it clearer about how they can try to not always compete on price. But up till now, we've been relying primarily on agents to run their business how they see fit. And I think maybe us giving a little bit more help in spelling out how competitive our products are without having to discount them would be a good idea.
2011 is inevitably going to be tough. Will that be reflected in a reduction in your prices, or what are we likely to see from Royal Caribbean?
What's most important to us at this stage is, of course, getting our ships filled at the right rate. We've just recently done a very big promotion, 10,000 flight giveaway, which got enormous support from the trade and has done extremely well. So we're really happy about how well that's gone down. It's really boosted our awareness in the marketplace. And of course, moving forward, we'll be looking for a very strong wave, and we'll be coming up with a strong proposition in January, and we'll be looking for our trade partners to support us heavily during that period. It's a great opportunity for them to boost their business in the first quarter of 2011.
So do you think that this continual discounting is going to ultimately lead to either a fall in standards or perhaps an uncomfortable mix of people on board your ships?
It is absolutely central to the company's heart, the level of service that we give. So I am convinced that our standards will not fall. From a discounting, does it attract a different type of customer? I think to that I'd say we've got pretty big ships. On a lot of our Royal Caribbean ships, there are over 4,000 customers on board. There are many different types of customers. So on the cruise I went on out of Rome, there were over 30 nationalities of people on board, all different ages, from 80 down to 6 months old. So a complete variety of people, and actually I think that's a good thing. So I think it's a great reflection on life, and on cruising you get different types of people on board. It adds to the cosmopolitan nature of a cruise ship.
Let's just talk now about your move to e-ticketing, which, let's face it has been met with some resistance by some travel agents, hasn't it?
I believe that a lot of our partners understand the reason we're moving to e-ticketing is to make the process simpler, but also, frankly, to save some money. Cruise lines, like every other company at the moment, are under pressure from a margin point of view to improve our margins, and this is one of the ways that we can do that. So I think this is a case of this is where the industry is heading, and the sooner that we work with our partners to get them to understand that and understand it's not a bad thing, but it is the way the industry is heading, the better.
Dominic Paul, thank you very much for appearing on TWnewsmaker.
Thank you very much.
It's 36 to 38 degrees Celsius. No higher, no lower. It's soft, but not too soft. It's just enough to smooth things out. It's all of this, halfway to anywhere, with plenty of time to spare. The Qatar Airways Premium Terminal in Doha. 5-star service for first and business class passengers. Qatar Airways, the world's 5-star airline.